Alright guys, what's up? Capo J here, welcome back. Today I wanted to discuss the option of whether or not it's important or you need to prioritize having a set of body armor, meaning hard plates and a carrier. I can definitely say that as of the past few years my opinions have changed. I originally thought to myself, well, I guess it's kind of something that would be neat to have, kind of cool, and you might have a use for it, but probably not realistically. I'm not a soldier. I've never been a soldier. I'm not in law enforcement. I don't kick down doors for a living, so to me, I never really saw, I guess, an urgent need for it. And then about 3 years ago, my opinion started to change a little bit. The reason why I'm bringing this video up is because, well, two reasons. One, as you can see here, obviously, I've acquired a plate carrier with some plates, and I had a conversation with an old friend, a guy I used to shoot with. We used to run around doing ninja stuff, run drills, and just practice things that we had learned in training classes. And this particular gentleman has had a long career in the Marine Corps, and he was also a police officer for a couple of years, and he, even up to this day, trains like crazy, but he got married and he moved away. But anyway, I digress. So we had this conversation, and he was of the mindset that he's no longer a soldier, he's not a cop, so he kind of felt, he had this attitude to where just normal people, normal civilians didn't really have a need for hard plates, for body armor. He said that he'd rather spend that money on taking another training class or a case of ammo, because you can get yourself squared away pretty well with a chest rig, plate carrier and plates for anywhere from $200 to $400. Like this one, I got this for a gift from my girlfriend, bless her heart, for Christmas, and this one I think shipped was like $252. So about the same price as a case of ammo or a training class, a one-day training class. And I said, okay, I see your point, but I kind of countered with, okay, you've taken maybe almost a dozen training classes in your life. Martial arts, hand-to-hand, knife fighting, pistol classes, rifle classes. And I said, it's interesting that you recently bought yourself a really nice AR-15. I think it cost at the time about $1,400. This wasn't too long ago. This is within the past year or so. So you bought yourself a really nice, expensive rifle. You went out and bought, I think it was like a $300 Surefire weapon light, and you went out and bought a $600 aim point. And you didn't feel the need, or you don't think you have the need, or us regular civilians have the need to go out and spend $200 or $300 on something that could potentially save your life. So I thought, well, what if you would have bought a $200 Surefire light, and what if you would have bought a $400 or $450 aim point red dot for your AR? That extra money, you could buy yourself a plate carrier. You could still go out and train. So anyway, I don't want to go over like the entire conversation, but I was playing devil's advocate, because for the longest time I agreed with that kind of philosophy and that mentality that us regular schmoes, us regular dudes, we probably don't have the dire need for any sort of armor system. And then things started to change. As everyone knows, if you've been watching and not living in a cave for the past 3 years, there's this group called ISIS that kind of gained some power. And honestly, for the past, at least that I've known about them, for the past few years, they've been terrorizing the world, which is bad enough. But then recently they came to my country and started shooting up the place and started raising hell. And then shortly after these terrorist attacks, or actually around the same amount of time, you have this hate group called Black Lives Matter that has apparently declared a war on police. And as of recently, you can find them on any news channel chanting "Kill Whitey," "What do we want? Dead cops," "Pigs in a blanket," etc., etc. So you have terrorists coming into our country. You have terrorists who live in our country and have declared a war on law and order, and in some cases, white Americans. These savages, they burn down their own towns, they burn down their cities, they destroy their businesses, and now they're taking a direct, active course against regular citizens. Oh, and don't forget, all the while, Democrats want to be apologists for Islam and for these terrorists. They refuse to call them what they are. They're also apologists for these. These are equal rights groups. Black Lives Matter is not, they're not a hate group. They just want equal rights. Well, when is enough enough? Eventually, America, of all different colors, white, black, Asian, Hispanic, Latino. Eventually, normal Americans, we're going to get fed up, and people are going to start getting sick of this shit. So, I guess it was late last year, I had a conversation with my girlfriend when I was asking her what she wanted for Christmas. And that's when I got her that original SOE chest rig to go with her AR. And I was having a hard time answering her question, or giving her an answer to the same question about what I wanted. Well, the more news I watched, the more you read online, and the more you think about it, it's like I realize I don't live in some kind of fantasy land. I realize that a normal dude like me owning a set of body armor, it's probably going to collect dust if I'm lucky. I'll probably never have to use it. I mean, of course, you could, get all ninja'd up and go train with it and shoot with it. But, to really have it own it for what it's made for. If you're lucky, you'll never have to need it. You'll never use it. But again, it goes back for the price of a case of ammo. I mean, we do a lot of shooting. I try to get out and go to my friend's house and go shooting at least three out of 4 Saturdays a month. So, I'm not sure if I would have bought this for myself. I certainly wouldn't have done it probably a year or two ago, 3 years ago especially. But for the price of a case of ammo, to own something that can stop a .308 round, maybe it isn't such a bad idea to own it. So even to this day, I kind of struggle with the idea of, should you prioritize it? Should you have it? And honestly, I can't answer that. I can't even answer that for myself. And I'm not even sure if I would have bought this for myself, regardless of all the stuff that's been going on in our country and around the world. But since I do own it now, and since I did receive it for Christmas, I'm pretty happy that I did. So I just kind of wanted to give you guys a little bit of food for thought, see if maybe you guys might have a better way of answering this than I do, because like I said, to this day I don't really have an answer as far as whether or not something like this should be like a top priority for people who are patriots of this country, and people maybe who are into prepping, or they take their the safety of their neighborhood and their country serious. But I think it's a good idea. I'm just not so convinced yet as to whether or not it's a priority, or a necessity, I should say. So comments and questions are welcome. Leave them down below, and let me know what you guys think, because I'm curious. So thanks for watching, and take it easy.